Well, you've crashed under 100 miles an hour. You've crashed over 100 miles an hour. You've crashed over 200 miles an hour. Now over 300 miles an hour. It's probably enough.
Breathe a sigh of relief and just go, what just happened?
Has it peed in your face yet? Welcome to Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour, presented by NASCAR on Fox. And today we have two great friends, Tony, Leah. Thanks for taking the time today to fill us in on life. I guess that's the only way I know how to start this conversation, because I feel like that you guys go as much as Delaney and I do all over the place. But thanks for taking the time.
No, thanks for having
Of
me.
course. Yeah. Thank you.
So I guess the first question is, tell me about this wreck.
Yeah, definitely not what I saw in the playbook for Sunday by any means. But yeah, Doug Coletta, we raced together clear back in the 90s in USAC and sprint cars. And, Doug wins a championship. We win a championship the next year against him. And then he goes drag racing and we go the NASCAR route and don't see each other again till literally till COVID. And I see Doug racing with Leah, and but we've been good friends and have a lot of respect for each other. And Doug's literally the last guy you would think you'd ever have to worry about on anything.
It was weird though, with the way that wing dropped like that in the front. And
well, he's tired, and it's still
under review. Yes,
of exactly what came first, but
Yeah.
essentially whether it lost a valve stem or whether the tire got cut, the tire ended up coming apart, getting the A arm, and dropped that corner on the ground. And when it did that, it just drags Doug's car across the center line to us. And the way our cars are, the windshields don't come all the way back to your peripheral vision, so it's out further because you're running 300 miles an hour. You don't need to know what's directly 90 degrees.
You don't need to know
side.
what's in your blind spot,
right?
Yeah.
So I don't even see him coming, and when I climb his wheel, it gets up, and looking at it on video, I'm glad it didn't get over the wall. If it got over the wall, it was going to be a much larger crash. But we made contact at 240 miles an hour.
Holy crap.
So it's definitely the fastest crash. Somebody had put something online and said, well, you've crashed under 100 miles an hour. You've crashed over 100 miles an hour. You've crashed over 200 miles an hour. Now over 300 miles an hour. It's probably enough.
Yeah.
So I'm with them. I don't really want to crash anymore. But yeah, it just was a crazy circumstance. And, I think it's the great thing that I have learned and enjoy about drag racing is that you don't have that driver rivalry like what we had in NASCAR and IndyCar and sprint cars and other forms of motorsports, because you're literally running in your lane. So when something like that happens, somebody had a problem, something happened. But, the second words out of my mouth when they got to me is Doug okay? And Doug, all he cared about was I okay? And I think that's a statement to what camaraderie we have in NHRA that we've had in other forms of motorsports. But there's, this is after a run we both lost cars that we're trying to race in a 6-race countdown to try to win a championship. Right. So that was a big drama for both of us.
What'd you think about all that? Have you wrecked anything like that?
Yes, in 2020, wonderful year of COVID. I had a fly high situation. My chassis broke in half at about 200 feet. And same thing, Tony's on the starting line. I'm in the car. You just see like a plume of smoke and debris and you don't know what's happening. I was okay, thanks to our safety apparatuses, but I was on the starting line when they're running. And for those that aren't following NHRA points, I think Doug was in third at that point. Tony's in first. And so this is second round of the first race of the countdown. So each round is like so much is on the line. And, you're watching, and from the starting line, you're trying to figure out which car is getting small quicker, right? Yeah. Which one's more ahead. So they reach the finish line, and for all of us, our eyes go to the scoreboard. What do we run? Where are the blue lights for the win? Saw that we didn't win. And then all of this massive smoke. And then first thing I heard over the PA was, oh, and their parachutes are tangled, and Doug gets into Tony. And then it's just pure silence. And I go to radio check Tony, and silence, nothing there. And then, of course, I don't have a scooter because we'd parked so close to the staging lanes, and was able to get a ride down with Tim Wilkerson. And again, there's nothing on the radio that I'm hearing from our team, from Tony. So just, trying to think of the best case scenario, definitely not the worst. But then as I'm going down the side of the racetrack, I start seeing some debris, and I'm like, those are our body panels. Those are our Renai stickers. And then I come up to Doug's car, and Doug's car is sideways, and Doug is already out. And then Tony's is a little bit farther down, and Tony was already out. And I mean, then you just breathe a sigh of relief and just go, what just happened? Tony's asking me what just happened. And I'm like, I have no idea. The Jumbotron was way behind me. And man, from there, you've got two incredible race machines that are now out of commission. And Doug, that's a testament to their team. They turned around, got their spare car out within 60 minutes. We're in the next round, believe won the next round, and went to the final. But we would have had to do the exact same thing given if we won that round, and we were also prepared to. So very scary. But it's, part of what you subscribe for, I guess, like a small percentage of it. But yeah,
That's what I tell
let's
Keelan
not do
all the
that
time.
anymore.
We'll wreck or something, and that's always the conversation. If you're going to race, you're going to wreck. Yeah. And that's a great lesson for all the people who are pretty slack on their safety stuff. I see it time and time again, and Keelan wears me out. He's like, Dad, I don't understand why we change all this stuff so much. I don't understand why you're so concerned about my head height or my insert, because he grows like a freaking weed.
Yeah.
So you got to change the stuff all the time, and it takes a couple hours to pour the insert every time you do it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you're not preparing for every day. You're preparing for that one moment for it to be right.
That's right. I think people forget that it's not the scenario that we're planning for. It's somebody else's scenario that we can't plan for. And that was a perfect example of it Sunday. I mean, Doug's the last guy I would worry about. I mean, I'd have more confidence because of our history together. Yeah. And so when that happened, even when you find out that we both crashed into each other, you're like, I know whatever happened wasn't because he did something wrong.
Yeah.
It's something happened.
Yeah, it wasn't me banging into the side of you because I was pissed off at you or something.
No, and you can see
wrong.
Doug's right front. He's got it turned, trying to not go over that center. I mean, immediately, it's still at 300 miles an hour, trying to make sure he doesn't hit Tony.
So what was the difference in a NASCAR wreck compared to a was that the first time you'd crashed it?
That's the first time I've crashed anything in drag racing. But
really?
Took a small nap, so I really don't have a clear answer for that. But literally knowing what I feel like this week, I mean, we've crashed hard at, I crashed in your car at Charlotte on Saturday, did the same thing on Sunday in the Cup car, blowing 2 tires out. Felt worse than what I feel this week. The biggest thing is just the fact that I banged my head a little bit. And
you're old.
And I'm old.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me. But
I'm
you
old too.
Are old.
Yeah. We're both old now. So every time that something happens, we could fall down the stairs and hurt ourselves worse than we probably could in the race car.
Exactly. But it's, I think that was probably the bigger concern, was that I banged my head and took a really short nap. But physically, from that standpoint, I don't feel any different than I would have if we would have had a crash in a Cup car or if I'd have crashed a sprint car.
Well, I actually thought he was almost Iron Man afterwards, because NHRA came over with the crash box information, and the raw data showed it was a 50G swing.
Oh, wow.
And from that initial hit when he got shoved over and toppled back, and then Tony's like, I feel pretty good. I'm going to do all the precautions and doing the concussion protocol. And I'm like, man, he is speaking very well, and his balance was fine. I'm like, that was, a huge hit. But then the filter data came back, and it was really 20 Gs.
Okay.
And that made more sense for how he was. Otherwise, I was like,
50 Gs would have been a big shot.
Yes.
That would have been a big shot. We used to, now they do all the mouthpieces and things on the NASCAR world, and they compare that to the football data. We're not really hitting anything that hard compared to how hard those football guys hit. I mean, it's still hard, but it's those football players, they pull some massive.
We always talk about what the hard part. It doesn't matter how fast you're going. It's about how quick it stops.
Right.
So the good thing is our lanes are pretty close together. The walls are pretty close together. So it's hard to get a lot of angle across the track. And it does happen. In the shorter wheelbase cars, it does happen. But when you're running 300 miles an hour, when something happens, you're not going to just make an immediate 90-degree turn and have a 300-mile-an-hour head-on crash. So I think that's what's different in this, that the lanes are so close together, where when we ran really wide racetracks and have a big corner, if you were on the bottom, by the time you got there, the corner had moved around a lot further and you had a bigger angle that you hit at. So I think that's a good thing that we don't deal with on the NHRA side.
Well, we hope it goes better as you go through the
me
go
too.
through the end of the season. I know that's not the way that you want it to go, but good news, bad news. You kind of got kicked out of your seat because the boss is back next year. Leah's getting back in the car, and that has to be exciting. I know we're talking about crashing and not a great week, but that has to be exciting after the amount of time that you've spent out of the car, and to be able to consistently get behind the wheel again and do what you love to do has to be really exciting for you.
It's wild. I tested Tony's car in Richmond, so about May, and after that, I knew absolutely going to gear up for 2026. And then I'm like, this off season, I'm going to do all of my regimen, my simulations, my practicing, gear up. Well, then after Tony's wreck, and we just wanted to play it safe. I drove the spare car on Monday, and I was back in the seat much sooner than I was anticipating, and I was actually exactly where I wanted to be. Performance-wise on the track, the car ran really well. I did really well, and I was like, all right, put me in. You just put me in, now put me in. But they've got a lot of work to do to wrap up, to compete for that championship. But yeah, next year, there's a lot. We've had some big announcements today that come out with, besides just me being in the car, but where Tony will be. And that specifically would be in the other lane, in another car with another team.
So I got to hang out with Coach when we came. I'm going to call her Coach, and it was by far it gave me a whole new perspective on what drag racing is all about, because we sat up there and watched all the divisions, and she explained the difference between all the divisions and was picking things out, and I'm like, holy crap, this is just, you don't know the details of a particular racing division until you get somebody who knows how to do it at a high level.
I had a great time with you guys in the suite at Charlotte.
It was fun though, because of the fact that, I've gone to drag racing, and it's just, you think I know it's not, but you think it's two cars going down a track. I see all the work going on, but when you start to pick apart the details of what somebody does, or cylinder goes out, or out of the rubber, whatever was happening every time you went down the racetrack, that has to be fun for you guys, even though that you're going to compete against each other, but teaching him along the way to have all those details and the experience that have gone with it, that I would assume was fun. I'm sure sometimes you were like, hey,
I
get
think
off me.
I was excited about learning from Leah and having her as a coach. And then people go, are you sure that's a good idea? And not because she's not a good coach, but because of our relationship and having us as husband and wife, and her telling me how to do this.
But she doesn't beat around the bush.
No, not at all. And
No, he doesn't let me either.
No,
it's not like,
I love it.
give a
It's
softball.
direct.
I told her when we started, and she was going to help me with this, I said, I don't want to do this 98% right. I want to do it 100% right. So if I'm leaving anything on the table, you have to tell me that I'm not doing this right. But the way from day one that we went about this together, she is a very, very good teacher.
Yeah.
She knows how to say it in a way that you're going to understand. If you don't do it right and you make a mistake, she's not going to go, man, you screwed up. She's going to say, this was off, but this is what you do to fix it, or this will help. And so it really made the process of learning a whole different sport. The driving part from A to B isn't the hardest part.
Yeah.
It's all the procedure and the cadence of the procedure and all the different things that you have to think about. What classifies a good driver in drag racing is a totally different criteria than how they would judge you and I as a good race car driver in NASCAR.
Right.
So having her experience and our relationship and knowing how to talk to each other really was a huge asset, probably accelerated that learning curve for me.
Well, I think it was really interesting. She's obviously been a great coach, and you must be a good student, because you guys have got there pretty quick.
Fantastic student. I mean, I think Tony's selling himself a little bit short, and anybody listening or watching this definitely would categorize him as one of the world's best wheelmen.
Yeah.
So he has the natural talent behind the wheel, but his discipline to want to be the best, and I don't have to teach him how to learn. He already knows how to learn in any type of race car. So it's just a slightly different conversation. But even when he would have an absolutely perfect run, and he is staged thin and a perfect burnout and great brake pressure and a snap throttle, he's still actually looking for something else. And so for a while, like, nope, this is good, this is good. And then when there might be one thing that would be a little bit off, as you get comfortable, other things happen to, rise up. And he would get so upset and so mad. And recently, when you had done one thing, twice in a row, he was so mad, like for an entire day. I can't even drive this race car. What am I even doing? Can I even do it right at the same time? Tony, it's okay. It was just a little thing. But just a statement to how perfect you want to be. But there is that whole other element of the reaction time. And there are different ways to go about improving that. And that is very driver centric. There's different ways I go about it. And Tony's learning his own way to go about it.
Now, wait a second. Are you insinuating that older people have to go about it a different way? I'm trying to because I feel like that there might be a little side jab in there of trying to get there is it trying to repeat the process because our reflexes are slow?
No. Tony will be the first to say you very much dislike testing and practicing in all forms of racing, right? You as his teammate know that for sure. And so he will work really, really hard to not have to do that.
Yeah.
Which then he does really well. Others, I will work really, really hard at perfecting that craft and do a whole bunch of work and just to get maybe the same result or a better result, just a different way. But it is funny.
I think it goes back to when we raced together, though, and when you were with us at SHR. I mean, we had 4 drivers.
Yep.
And every Sunday, I would go to all 4 of you right before the race started. And it was like, you drop you in there, you tap you on the head. Yeah. And what I always tell you before you go off, go play nice with the other kids today.
That's right.
And make you laugh. And that was it. And off you went. That's all I had to tell you. Eric Amarola, different conversation. Cole Custer, different conversation. Chase Briscoe, different conversation.
Yeah.
Ryan Priest, different conversation. All 4 drivers, there were different things that you had to remind them, and some needed encouragement, some needed rein back. Some of them you just had to give them a different mindset and something to think about that was unique about that track. And I think that's where how she works through things is different a lot of times than how I work through things. Yeah. And Matt Hagen's our funny car driver. He sometimes works in a way different way than both of us. So it is about how people go about the learning process and how they go about how do they make themselves better. What are the steps that they do that they know work for them. So that is part of the learning process with Leah, that I watch how she does things to make herself better. Sometimes I try it and I don't feel like it does anything for me. Yeah. I need to find a different channel and a different way to figure that out. So there's no one playbook for it. Every person's different, how we all learn, how we all process information, how we all understand what it takes to get 2% more out of ourselves. That's the things that we sometimes can't teach each other, but it's finding your own way to get there.
Well, it's been really fun to watch. And before I get too far down the road here, she said she's driving. So where does that leave you?
I am going to be driving too. So I said I would not race against my wife, and I've lied to myself, obviously. But
it's like saying you're not going to race against your son.
Yeah.
I went down that road. That's never going to not happen. So,
well, imagine if I have to go down the road and I have to say that it's happened twice now. So, but I have a great opportunity with Richard Freeman and everyone at Elite Motorsports to drive a top fuel car next year. And I didn't think that would even be a possibility, nor did I honestly at first and on paper did I think it was a very good idea. Yeah. I thought if we race each other and I win, I get kicked to the couch for an undisclosed amount of time. If I lose, then I have to sit there and listen to my phone blow up about how I got my ass kicked by my wife. Yeah. So
that'll be typically the worst part of it.
That is the much greater concern. Yeah.
I at least knew when surface level.
Yeah. I at least knew that the couch we bought was comfortable and I could sleep on it for multiple days if needed. But the phone call part would be the hard part. But no, Leah's been the one that actually has convinced me that, hey, this isn't a bad thing. I mean, we can definitely do this. It kind of is a scenario like what Dale Sr. had with Richard Childress Racing and DEI. It's just kind of the reverse order. So we have TSR and we have Leah getting back in the car, but we have a marketing alliance with Elite Motorsports, and they have pro stock cars, Mountain Motor. They've got a big fleet of cars that aren't even in our categories, but we've done the marketing alliance, and then an opportunity came up and Richard was able to acquire a team that was for sale. And next thing you know, then I'm getting the call that I've got a car to drive if I want it. Yeah. So I'm excited about it. I think we've talked about it since then, and this has happened very, very fast. A lot's happened in a short amount of time, but we've talked about how much of a unique situation it is for us to actually be able to do what we love and actually compete against each other. And it's not going to be fun when we have to when we have to run. It's not like we're looking forward to the bracket going, all right, if we get by our first round matchups, we're going to be running each other second round. We can't wait.
I bet that changes. I bet you guys look forward to that after you do it once or twice. It'll be,
I think she
do.
will.
Yes.
She will look forward to that way more than I will. But you know, I still think it's going to be fun. I think our personalities can definitely handle that. And you know, first and foremost, before the race team, our relationship and our family comes first. And you know, no matter what the outcome is at a drag race, we're getting in the car together as a family, and we're going home as a family. And wherever I have to sleep at the end of the day is where I sleep.
I think a lot of what moved this was we want to race and have fun, right?
Yeah.
And do it with who we want to do it with. And we enjoy our teams. And the question was, can we build a second top fuel team? No, we're not going to do that. There was a lot of work in the beginning. We don't want to put our team through that. It's a lot of money. And so when Richard bought Josh Hart's operation, and this is all within the last couple of weeks. You know, Tony is the main portion of the pie, and as he calls it all the time, I'm the crust.
Yeah.
And so the three of us work very closely with Richard, me every day, and the biggest part of it is getting that team funded. Tony's not going to race that car until it's properly funded. And so that falls on the shoulders of Elite, myself, TSR. TSR still needs to be funded itself, and we will be, you know, competing for a championship. So it's, when we look at it, we love the people at Elite and want to race with them. You want to race with your friends. So it's just a different type of expansion for us. And then, you know, hopefully that'll lead into some type of technical, you know, alliance along the way. Some of the parts are very similar, and you want to make sure the mindsets of the crew chiefs are similar. And so we're in the process of selecting crew chiefs right now. So I feel like that team is the extension of what we've already created. So I think that they will do very well out of the box as soon as they get going.
Was there ever a moment that you thought, when you had Dom, was there ever a moment after you've been mom for a while that you thought about, I might not ever drive again because I like this? Or was it always that burning desire to get back in the car?
There was always that burning desire, and it specifically came at the moment that I lost the world championship in 2023. Final round of the final race, everything on the line, me and mine versus Doug Coletta and his, and we lost that round. We lost the championship, and I knew, and I was the only one that knew, that I wouldn't be racing that next year. And I also knew that I would be back to go back after it again.
Yeah.
Now, is there a soft side that has come out? Absolutely. But at the same time, I've missed the intensity that I feel and how I get geared up and my mindset when I'm racing.
It's addicting.
It is. And it's so much a part of who I am. So the times that I have been able to test, including this past week, I instantly have that back, and I find a part of myself that I've missed, and I can definitely balance them both. Yeah, there has been no doubt. And there's, you know, this past weekend after that crash and everybody walked away, and both race cars were built by PBRC. And that's the car, one of the cars I'll be racing next year, one of the new ones. It's a safe sport overall. You know, Tony's been on some keyboard wars this past week. Everyone has a lot of opinions, and you know, what you had said, you have a higher chance of getting hurt, you know, driving to work every single day than we do in these race cars. So why sacrifice something that you absolutely love and what propels us and who we are? Live together, work together, travel together. We will be competing against each other. It all brings life to us. And now we get to do it with Dom, and I get to hold him. Actually, at the end of my second run on Monday, Tony came from the motorhome because he was recovering, and he had Dom. And I have never gotten out of a race car. And I'm not sure I will, right? When you're in a race, they're not allowed down there. And here comes my baby. Tony's holding him, and I still have my helmet on. And I take it off and take my hybrid off, and there he was, and it was cool.
So you guys think that this is difficult right now as far as deciding to get back in the car? You're gonna compete against Leah. This is not even hard, because what'll happen is Dom is going to get to the point that he's old enough to race, and then you have to start making harder decisions. So the hard decision is, are we going to go straight? Are we going to race on dirt? Are we going to race on asphalt? When do these conversations start? Because you can't get out of him. He's not going to play golf.
We're gonna try.
We
It's
are.
not gonna work. You watched it.
I know.
Doesn't
I
work.
saw.
Yeah.
I was gonna try to use your playbook.
Yeah. The thing that I have learned about racing families is they don't ever quit racing.
No.
If you're a true racer, you race your whole life, you race whatever it is, and you race all the way through. So that I tried to make myself think that wasn't going to happen. Not even possible.
It's funny because I went to Millbridge this week and watched the kids race on Tuesday night at Millbridge. And I remember going back to the hotel and telling Leah, I said, I just saw our future.
Yeah, you did.
It's like, and I was just laughing because I'm like, I don't know whether to laugh or cry about it. But yeah, as soon as the announcement went out that Leah was pregnant, that was immediately what across social media and our friends were like, are you buying junior dragsters? Are you buying quarter midgets?
Yeah.
What are you buying?
That's what I'm asking.
And
I'm appreciating the time right now where we're not having to make that decision.
No, it's coming.
well,
Yeah.
but
You think it's not far away. It's literally 4 years.
it's sooner than we think, obviously. But the thing that it was amazing when we sat down and had a conversation of what are we going to do with this? And the conversation lasted less than 60 seconds. We literally, before the conversation started, already were on the same page of saying, we're not buying anything until he looks us in the eye and says, this is what I want to do, and I'm all in.
Man.
So,
However, I don't think we didn't talk about that's a child and they make a decision one day and the next day it's something else. And so you need to be persistent with them, right? And you need to teach them dedication and not giving up. And so whatever that looks like, but I don't think we care which aisle, which lane, which racetrack, if he decides to race. But we've been on in the racetracks our entire life. So wouldn't be a surprise to see us there. And I don't think it'd be a surprise to see us somewhere else with them.
Nobody will
Not
be
dirt
surprised.
the,
And
the great thing
Not
is,
what?
Not dirt bikes.
the great thing is we have a good friend that already has a playbook of how this works and how
True.
to navigate it. So it's like, hey, I need some help here. How do we do this and do this the way that we would want to do it?
So when you go back and you kind of analyze all of this from where you guys are now with TSR, what you've done in dragster, and you've been around it enough now to see the NASCAR side of things and the things that he done. How would you compare the way that the two sports work, the two racing divisions from NHRA to NASCAR? Because I hear you talk about it sounds like 1990s NASCAR to me is what it sounds like, where the group of people travel together, you drink beer together, you eat together, you wreck together, everybody does everything together. And I think that, NASCAR has changed from what it was in the 1990s to what it is now. Compare the experience from what you've had the last several years to what you had in NASCAR. And I'm not trying to put you on the spot to say, the last 5 years, just in general, from when you started to where you are starting this now.
Yeah, and you and I've spent the majority of our lives in the NASCAR system, and I don't think the system's wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. At this time and this point in my life, I love the NHRA environment. I love that it's not March of the Elephants where all the crew guys come in at a certain time and they have to be out of the garage at a certain time. Each team comes in at whatever time they want to get to the track each day. They leave when they want to get done at the track each day. But what I do enjoy about it, and that I feel like brings us back to very early 2000s or the 90s, was you'll have teams, and even with our two teams, I mean, the Top Fuel team might get done before the funny car team's done servicing their car. Our guys are milling around with the funny car team, and there's other guys from other teams that they're done servicing their cars, and the fans are gone for the day by this time. But they're all milling around. The whole pit area is milling around, visiting with each other and drinking beer in the pits together. And it's like, wow, this reminds me of when I used to race sprint cars back in the day, and when we started in NASCAR, guys from different teams were milling around. The races I went to last year, the teams don't mill around with anybody but their own organizations. They don't go talk to other people in different teams. So it's just a different time in the NASCAR sport. But I do enjoy that. I do enjoy the camaraderie with the entire pit area. And it's people from Pro Stock. It's people from Pro Stock Bike. It's different funny car teams coming to dragster teams because they all know each other. It's the same as the motorsports industry has always been. It's a tight-knit family. Yeah. And to be able to do that 2 nights during the weekend on Friday and Saturday nights and be able to mill around and see people and just kind of let your guard down and relax and have fun being with your peers. I miss that.
Yeah. Well, I think as you added Dominic into this whole equation, for me, it was something that I always hoped would happen, was to see him as dad. I'm glad that he met you, because that kind of brought it all to be real.
Necessary part of the equation.
I think back, and I wrote this story down. So I landed in Kansas one day, and my friend there calls me and says, "Hey, I need a favor." I'm like, "Okay, what do you need?" He's like, "I left the monkey at the airport. It's in the plane. I need you to go to my plane. I need you to go get my monkey, and I need you to take it and put it in my motorhome." So that scares me a little bit from a
Did he forget the monkey?
No.
Oh.
I think he decided to go do something else at that particular time, or go somewhere, had an appearance, or I think he was late, is the way I remember it.
No way.
I think so. I'm pretty sure he was late.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was late.
I gotta know, have we had, there has to be some fun moments so far where he's like, "What the hell did I do? Got peed in the face, pooped up the back," or something that because I think back to this monkey,
funny
and I'm
thing is
like,
the
the monkey
direction-
has beat him up. The monkey has been left in the plane.
Oh.
What in the world
The
has
funny
happened?
thing is, the angle that you think you're working on this is spinning 180 degrees as we speak right now. Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
Go ahead. Answer his question.
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't leave the monkey, right? Okay,
No, he
we'll clear that
made
up.
sure that he had
I didn't
he
forget
made sure
the
that he had a
monkey.
plan for the monkey before he
Right.
left the monkey.
Okay, well, I'm going to start off with Tony has not had the opportunity to forget or leave Dominic anywhere,
Okay.
because that requires carrying the mental load.
Okay.
So that's wrapped up with myself. But what we're laughing about is the not once, not twice, but third time that stopped. It's 3, where I forgot our
4.
dog.
Yeah.
At the racetrack.
Oh.
A, because
Goodness.
I'm pregnant and I have pregnancy brain.
Yeah.
B, at Phoenix when mom brain, and someone else was walking him, and I just thought that he was, anyway.
2 days in a row at Phoenix, by the way.
I know.
It's
That was
usually the
busy
first thing that
race.
happens when you have kids is you want to get rid of the dogs. That was the first thing that happened for me. Delana and I love the dogs, and the first thing that happened was baby dogs.
Who left Cash home this weekend?
I didn't leave him.
No, but you
home.
suggested that he not be here.
There's a difference between making other arrangements, as we previously discussed, and literally having that pet with you on the road, and it's in the hospitality trailer by itself because it got left at the racetrack at the end of the day.
The first time we were in Bristol, and we have the hospitality trailer, our motor home. We're trying to get to the plane. We're in the car, headed to the airport. Realize I've forgotten Cash, and I'm pregnant at the time, and I was so mad, only because I knew that Tony would be holding that against me for so long.
By the way, I didn't even say anything. Like, that question did not come from me, by the way.
I know. We haven't even seen any of the
I love
questions.
it.
I know. It's like Moy, Mom of the Year.
Yeah.
Who's stricter? Who's the enforcer here? Mom.
Yeah, Dad
Yeah, no
gets all the
doubt.
fun
Yeah.
playtime.
When he cries himself to sleep, the next day I'll go, yeah, after you got done crying yourself to sleep, she came and gave me a dose of it, and I cried myself to sleep. So we're on the same page, bud. So
Has he peed in your face yet?
no,
You have to change a diaper for that to happen.
I've changed.
My man.
I have changed 2.5 diapers, and somebody goes, well, how do you change a half? This was literally at the end of the day, and I got his diaper off, got him cleaned up, and then to Leah for the bath.
Cleaned up
before
as in
bed.
pee or cleaned up as in poo?
No, poo.
Okay.
Poo and pee.
Okay.
So
Are you I mean, I've seen the video of the mask.
no, I can do it.
You can do it by
this.
yourself
Yeah.
without a mask now.
Yeah, I can do it. Well, I haven't tried lately, and now he is Squirmosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
So the element of difficulty has gone up
It's
watching
the
these
ankle
guys.
grab, man. Just tie him up.
Yeah,
with your
well, like I
hands.
say, now he's learning his voice. So you grab that, and then he's going to tell you he does not like that. But she does a really good job of putting her foot down in those scenarios, and when he wants to push back, she's definitely going to be the one that's going to be the tougher of the two
So
parents.
knowing you, what have you bought him that he's like 5 years from being able to use?
I haven't bought him anything yet.
Nothing.
No.
Oh, no,
It-
a lot
it
of
is-
Amazon.
Yeah, a lot of Amazon.
Yeah, our driveway for literally over probably a year and a quarter looked like an Amazon distribution center. just trucks up and down
That
all
doesn't
day.
change.
But I think at our ages, I mean, she's in her 30s, I'm in my 50s now. The amount of friends and people we knew and know sent so much stuff. We haven't bought anything. I mean, we have so many clothes for this kid that he wears it one time, and then by the next time it comes around to wear it again, he's already grown out of it because of how much has been sent to us. So Leah's sister now has a child, so Leah's an aunt, and we've been taking a lot of the clothes that we were gifted and
got a great sponsor.
Gifting them down.
Yeah.
So.
I will say that there was a walker that we got. We had to prepare Dominic for his first race, the U.S. Nationals, at 9 months old. And so we're practicing in that, which he got second place. And
we had a practice car.
In the walker.
Found out exactly what brand they were going to be racing in. She immediately gets on Amazon, finds it, gets it to the house the next day, and we practiced religiously up till the event.
But what I want to say about that is the practice walker he has, and then if he saw his race car walker that we have, it's this elevated IndyCar looking red hot rod. He screams when he sees that because he wants to be in that one. Screw this other little practice thing. So now we don't let him see the other one. And that's so anyway, he rolls around, walks around in the race car one. It's his absolute favorite toy, favorite thing. His favorite color is red. Any fire extinguisher, any red car. Yeah. But no, we haven't bought anything because we're on the road all the time.
Yeah. Well, and you forget when you have everything that you need, it all just kind of functions. And I think that, for us, that was always kind of the way it was. It was just Keelan came along. It was just a new way that you live. You had cribs and walkers and everything that you needed. You just had to have more stuff.
That and as far as toys, you don't even need to buy toys. Like a half-drink water bottle is the best toy for him, or the spring doorstop. He's mesmerized by that. So it's crazy. You acquire things to keep him entertained, and then everyday things that are already around the house entertain him all day long.
Yeah. Well, it won't be long, and he will be mobile, and then it becomes a new name or a new game. I guess is the best way to put it. So, last question: have you ever driven anything else besides going straight?
I drove a vintage Formula Ford.
Okay.
For a couple races at Willow Springs, and I love that. It actually didn't suck. Podiumed a couple times, and nope, drag racing has been my jam from factory stock, nostalgia funny cars,
all the way from the beginning.
Yeah.
Will you ever drive anything else, or are you just a straight liner now?
When have I ever?
I'm just saying.
No?
I mean, I saw you jump in the midget. You guys, that was great.
Oh, sorry, I did run Tony's 410 wing sprint.
Oh, you did?
I did. Yes.
Where at?
Where were we?
We tested at Putnamville, Indiana.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is what leads me to the statement that Tony is a fantastic student and a terrible teacher.
I said, well, as soon as the tires get spinning and you see oil pressure, flip the fuel on and flip the ignition switch. She goes,
oh,
what after that? I said, sneak up on it.
Oh, that sounds exactly like my first dirt car experience. My man here says, hey, I need you to come run this Eldora race. Okay. Never driven anything dirt in my life. I get there and he says, all right, when you want to go, push the clutch in. I'm like, push the clutch in?
Yeah.
Well, he got exactly what he deserved. I destroyed 2 race cars and looked like a complete fool and didn't have very much fun. But that sounds exactly like my first dirt experience as well.
I just had to watch her run her first run to then sit there and be able to talk about it. But the hard thing we put her in a 410 cubic inch wing sprint car.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to hustle them.
Yeah.
So
that would have been great to know in the beginning.
Yeah.
That I need to be at least, partially through the straight. I mean, I did Corey Cruiseman's sprint car driving school years ago and do understand, turn right to turn left. And I thought I was ripping. Oh my gosh. I thought I was just, nose into the infield. I saw video. Just
putting
rallying around, and my forearms were on fire, and I had to drive later that week, and my forearms were on fire for 2 weeks. And I'm
really?
Yeah. Well, because I wasn't going fast enough for the steering to work as it should. So I'm fighting it the entire time. And Tony's laughing.
Did it have more power than you thought it would have?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Really?
And I think what scared me the most of it was I always thought I was going to flip over. Clearly I'm not, but you want stability, and that's the name of the game in drag racing and traction. And so seeing the wing just tilt and being in the wrong direction and, not knowing my capabilities and the car's capabilities, where is that end point? So having to sneak up on that. Meanwhile, like Tony's in the infield and he's going like this. Move out, move out, quit running the bottom.
So you're not going to race anything else?
I
Do you have
you
any
know me,
do you
I've-
ever do you have any aspirations to race any?
there's
sprint car or
nothing on a
anything again?
list per se that
Yeah.
I'm like, I definitely want to try this before it's all said and done. But, you know, I never thought I'd even be around or involved in drag racing,
Yeah.
let alone
Me
after
neither.
being an owner, I didn't even know I was going to ever have an opportunity to drive. But I think in my career, in my life, I've learned you never say never.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know I'm in my 50s. My dad's in his 80s and still racing a 3/4 midget. Now he wants to get involved and try drag racing. Um, I
You don't miss any of it.
I miss a lot of it, actually.
Really?
I miss dirt racing more than anything.
Yeah.
That is probably running the dirt sprint cars is what I miss the most.
Yeah.
Um, I loved what we did with NASCAR, and I think NASCAR works really hard still to continue to evolve and make things better. But I there's no shot I'm going back to IndyCar. I'm
Yeah.
way too heavy, way too old to do that. Even the dirt sprint car stuff. I mean, in your 50s, I mean, the pace has changed. The pace is quite a bit faster.
That's the thing I noticed with Keelan. Like the
Younger
pace is
guys.
just like it's just hammer
Yeah.
right from the time they start practice. And it's like, do we ever just creep into things anymore? There's no creeping into anything
No.
anymore. I mean, it
No.
is when you go, we're going. If you've not been to the track before, you're still going because you think you know where you're going. And it's just a hammer down
I think
pace.
the game's changed. I mean, we've been lucky enough to be in a partnership with the sim companies,
Yeah.
and iRacing has been huge. And now things that we had to physically go on a racetrack and we physically had to learn, and you had to be fearful of, I might crash this race car and A, tear up a guy's car,
Yeah.
and B, tear myself up. Now they get to do that online, and if they crash, they hit a button and it gives them a brand new car in the pit and they go right back out on the racetrack. And that in itself, I feel like has been probably one of the biggest game changers in motorsports is having iRacing. I think it's great because drivers can now go to a track before they ever see it in person
Yeah.
and actually
It's a good point.
have a really good idea of where bumps are, how to get around the track to where they're not a nuisance when you're around them while they're trying to learn the racetrack.
Yeah.
They show up and they know, and they're on pace right away because of that. So
Scares the shit out of me.
absolutely.
I watch
And-
them go out there sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, can we just try to just creep into it just maybe 1 or 2 laps? But it is.
Did
It
you
is
watch
different.
yourself when you drove at that age?
It's different than when I was at that age, but maybe it was like that. I don't
Yeah.
remember it being like that. I always remember just kind of creeping up on trying to find the next marker and the next marker, and they don't try to find. There's no try to find it. It's I already got it. I'm going to it.
Yeah.
And I think to your point, that's just where it's become. But thank you guys. I know we went off on a bunch of tangents.
No.
And
That's what we
and
do.
congratulations on getting back in the car. Hopefully we can find more money than we need to put on that dragster for you to get in there, because I want to see you compete. I want to see you. All I want to see is her beat you. So that
I know
that's
what
that's
all
really
my,
the only thing I'm looking for.
all of my buddies want to see her beat me.
Yeah.
So all my good friends.
Yeah. So thank you guys, and good luck for the rest of the year, and hopefully we'll catch up again soon.
Thanks,
Thank
friend.
you.